Medellin, Colombia is one of the most popular cities for expats and travelers and digital nomads. And over the past couple of years, I've definitely seen the cost go up. So the question is, how much does it actually cost to live here now? Well, after living there for 6 months in total, I'm gonna do a full cost breakdown of how much it actually costs to live in Medellin so that you know exactly what to expect before making the move. And if you're new here, I'm Alex. On this channel, I share everything I've learned about leaving the West and creating an ideal life in Latin America. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. Now let's get into the numbers. Let's dive right in. So here's what we're gonna cover in this video. We're gonna go over rent, and I'll give you some specific examples from Airbnb, which I think is probably the best source that you can look at. Food and dining, we'll get into transportation, Ubers. The cool thing about Medellin is also a metro that you can use. Entertainment and lifestyle, healthcare and insurance, and then we'll get into the total monthly cost breakdown. So what can you expect to pay in rent in Medellin? So this is going to depend on the location. It's going to depend on the lifestyle that you're looking for. Let's just do what we usually do. Let's go to Airbnb. Let's type in Medellin, Colombia. Let's go flexible monthly search. All right, so I'll do another video on the best neighborhoods, but you're going to want to start in Poblado. This is where I started. This is pretty much where I kicked off my journey when it came to living in Latin America. All right, so this is Poblado, most popular tourist area, expat area, digital nomad area. And to get a good idea as far as what rents are, always go to filters, go to entire home. Now, I'll show you a little trick. So let's say you move this here. Oh, it looks like it might already be accurate. Sometimes it isn't. I have to do it twice. So I'll go here, then I'll do it again for whatever reason. Yeah, see what happened? It changed. So look at the prices here. You can see like right around the average is probably around here somewhere where the most apartments are going to be. And you're looking at like 1,100 to almost 2,000 a month in Medellin, Colombia. Prices have gone up, but let's see what we can find for roughly, I don't know, like let's do right around here, between 800 to 1,200. There's a lot of options. That's the good news. Let's even go a little less. Let's see what we can get here. And again, we're probably in the most expensive part of the city, right? So look, 5 stars. This looks like a pretty decent option right off the bat. Let's see. Yeah, it looks new. Looks like you get the full-size living room, nice balcony, desk, 1 bedroom. I mean, it looks like a good spot, right? So you're gonna pay probably $1,150, right, for a respectable, pretty nice 1 bedroom. You can see here the options. They come with pools. Let's see this one, $844. You got a breakfast bar. You got a small living area. This one doesn't look bad for $844. Let's expand on it a little bit. So when you add in the fees, it comes out to $967. All right, that's the tough part with sometimes with Airbnb. But we can show you how to negotiate in a different video. So you're looking at roughly $1,000 for this. Looks like a respectable 1 bedroom living area. I like the breakfast bar. You got a workspace there. Nothing fancy. Looks like there's no balcony, but it gets pretty good lighting. I mean, it's a pretty good 1 bedroom. I mean, I would live here. Like you got a gym, you got a pool. This is a pretty good spot. Let's see exactly where it's located. This is in, yeah, it's right near the shopping mall. It's right in the middle of the Odo. So it gets pretty hilly up here. So you might have to climb this hill, which Medellin, that's a problem. You do have a lot of hills depending on the zone. But for the sake of this video, you can see that we're looking at somewhere between 800 to 1,100 for like a basic 1 bedroom. All right, now I put for a modern 1 bedroom, you're looking closer to 1,000 to 1,600, and obviously you can go more and higher and bigger. But that's what you're looking at in Poblado. In Laureles, you can drop that down to about 700 to 1,200. Laureles is the other neighborhood. And again, I'll do a separate video on neighborhoods, but Laureles is over here. You have Belén and Laureles. Laureles. Wow, I can't even say that. In that area there. So obviously Medellin is going to be more expensive than other cost of living videos I'll do. Probably one of the most expensive, I think. I'll get into another video as far as most expensive, most affordable places, but this is what you're looking at. All right. My guess is if you're going to be living by yourself, probably spend about 1,000 to 1,200 for your own decent 1 bedroom. All right. Now, my place, I'll show you what I paid for in Sabaneta. Sabaneta is probably my favorite neighborhood if I were to live in Medellin, which I wouldn't, but I will show you what I paid for it. Let me just go there real quick. All right, so this is where I stayed in Sabaneta. Okay, Sabaneta is just outside of Medellin. Where I showed you before was Poblado. I stayed in Poblado too. I stayed in Laureles. Envigado's here, and then Sabaneta is this. It's a town outside of Medellin, but most people consider it also part of Medellin. So I'll show you what this looked like, and I'll probably do some B-roll in the background as far as a walkthrough video of this apartment. This was a pretty nice place. It's a 1-bedroom, 2-bath, massive king-size bed, private bathroom, beautiful, gorgeous view from this balcony. I'll show you some B-roll. But look at what this is going for now. I think I paid $800 a month for this place. And if I were to do a monthly stay, you're looking at $1,317. All right, I could probably negotiate this with the owner down to maybe 1,000, 1,100 around there. I'm probably not going to get it for 800. Prices have gone up in Medellin and even Sabaneta, but this is a really nice place. You got a good size living area. The balcony, as I said, has a gorgeous view. Everything in the kitchen, full size, dining table. You have a king size bed with a bedroom. This also had a private office, which I loved. There's a pool, which I didn't really use because Sabaneta, believe it or not, is a little colder than Medellin. It's a little more down south. So the weather's a little slightly colder. So I didn't really use the pool for that reason. But even a place like Sabaneta, if you want like a luxury or modern 1-bedroom, you're going to be paying close to somewhere between 1,000 and 1,300. All right, just to give you an idea. All right, so I hope that gives you an overview as far as what you're looking at for housing. Again, anywhere between 1,000, 1,300, regardless if you're in Poblado, Laureles, even Sabaneta, it looks like you'll be paying well over $1,000 just for a decent 1-bedroom. And I know I might be saying like, oh, it's over $1,000, it's a little more, but when you've been living in Latin America for almost 3 years now, you're gonna find that for $1,000 a month, you better be getting a good spot, right? It's not like Boston, Massachusetts, where I'm from, where for freaking like $1,500 a month, I'm living in a garden level basic 1-bedroom, which I could probably I could show you some video footage of my unit there. But for like a 1-bedroom garden level, $1,500, close to there, it's night and day, right? So, but still, for $1,000 a month, most places in Latin America, you're going to be living in a really nice place. So, food and dining. This is going to be more expensive than other areas as well, just because it's such a touristy area now. Unless you're living in a more of a local spot, could be Laureles, even Sabaneta. Yeah, you'll be paying more affordable pricing. If you're in Poblado, you're going to be paying a lot more. You're going to be paying what they call gringo prices. All right, so just keep that in mind. It's going to be depending on the location. But most street food here you can get for about up to $3. Whenever you're doing lunch menus or the menu ejecutivo, up to $7. Mid-range restaurant, 20, $25. Fine dining could be 50, could be $100 per person, even more, right? There's restaurants that are pretty expensive here in Medellin. Monthly groceries for one person. Again, this is all going to range. But if you're eating out every day like I do, you're probably paying well over 500, 700, maybe 800 a month in Medellin, again, depending on the location. So food costs are pretty high here, but if you're in Laureles, Sabaneta, you'll be paying a lot less. So just keep that in mind. Transportation and getting around Medellin. So the cool thing about Medellin is this has one of the best metro systems that I've seen in Latin America. It's probably the best now that I think about it. It's very clean, it's very efficient, it's very affordable, and it's super quick. So if you're living in a place like Sabaneta, which is where I was for part of my time in Medellin, if I wanted to get to Poblado, I could take an Uber, which isn't that much either. I mean, probably looking at maybe $6, $5-6 for one way. But the metro, it's a straight shot. You know, there's not that many stops, and it takes me right to Poblado. So I would actually find myself using the metro, and it's super safe, it's super efficient. So keep that in mind. Probably the only city that I would ever use the metro in is Medellin. Guadalajara also has a metro system. I didn't really use it, but Medellin, I'm just saying this is going to be an option for you, which is what the locals do as well. So this is kind of this is rare in Latin America, where I usually use Ubers all the time, but in Medellin you could use the metro. So monthly budget for transportation, I put 600. That's not right. You're probably going to 60 to $200 a month for getting around. Again, if you're satisfied with a place like Sabaneta, which is not a big area, it's pretty small, but you do have everything that you need in terms of restaurants, grocery stores, gyms, right, coffee shops, pretty decent coffee shops.
even some bars and some nightlife and pretty much everything you need in that little area, right? But you're gonna want to get out too. Like if you have a community of friends, most of them are not going to be in Sabaneta. They'll probably be in Laureles, or they're probably in Poblado. If you want to go to networking or meetups, it's going to be mostly in Poblado area. So you will be using Ubers for that. So entertainment and lifestyle. So Medellin does have a pretty active social scene, right? It's a hub. It's where a lot of digital nomads go to spend time in. It's where a lot of people get their feet wet. And it's also where a lot of people go to, let's just call it pay for play, right? That happens a lot here in Medellin. So it attracts a lot of different types of tourism, which drives up prices for everything. So here, I mean, I'll just go with the basic stuff. Gym memberships, probably looking at 30 to $50. If you're doing with a smart fit, closer to the 30 range. If you're going to a better gym, like Body Tech, I went to both. You're looking at more like 50 and even higher. Obviously, you can take salsa classes. Going out, probably going to spend about 30, $50 a night if you go out with your friends, if you go on a date, things like that. Weekend trips, there are some excursions you can take here. You can go to Guatapé. I'll probably share some B-roll on that. There's also Parque RV. There's Comuna 13. There's different things you can do outside the city as well for weekend excursions. And it's not that much. It's pretty affordable. Co-working spot. So I had my own co-working spot when I first got here. I think I was paying around $80 a month for my own office. I should have some B-roll on that. If I do, I'll share it as well. But what I found is I was there around October, November-ish. This was in Poblado, by the way, so in that area. And it was just it rained like almost every day. So for me to walk around, with my electronics, my laptop screens and everything, it just wasn't convenient to walk in the rain. And it also wasn't that safe either. It wasn't the safest part of Poblado to get to that particular co-working spot. So from then on, I just decided to work at home, and it kept it more simple, more efficient. I don't have to constantly keep setting up my setup. So if you wanted to, though, there are a lot of co-working spots here, and you're probably going to be in this range, 100 to 250. Another getaway you can do here, there are fincas that you can rent out. I'll share some B-roll on the farm that I stayed on, but this is another thing you can do to get outside the city. It's pretty much what I did in Boston too. When I lived in Boston, I would go out to like New Hampshire or Vermont or Maine, right? And I'd probably rent some type of loft in one of those areas, get into the wilderness, get into the finca. So that's what I like to do. And you can do the same thing here in Medellin. All right. So healthcare and insurance. Now, the good thing about Medellin is it does have one of the best healthcare systems and hospitals in Latin America. And it's really affordable to get work done here. I went to the dentist here. I got sick here too. So I did have my experience of doctor visits. And it was super affordable. It was great. It was really quick to set an appointment. I think I paid like maybe $80 in total. They gave me the prescriptions. I got my medications. Everything was super simple, super efficient. I can't say enough good things about my healthcare in Latin America, and specifically in Medellin. So out of pocket per visit, you might be around 80 to $100, but it's going to be well spent. And again, this is without insurance or anything. The only thing I do recommend people have for insurance, if you're an expat or digital nomad, make sure you have Safety Wing. Safety Wing, I pay about $53 a month, and it covers me up to $250K. If anything were an emergency, right, for hospital bills or anything like that, it's always nice to have in the background. It's always nice to have just in case. All right, so total monthly cost breakdown, what you can expect to pay in Medellin, Colombia. This is very low end here. 1,000 to 1,500. Yes, you can get by, but again, you're probably not going to be very social. You're not going to have much fun. If you're going to be paying $1,000 to $1,500 per month, I'd recommend going to a different location and live a better type of lifestyle. But you can do it. You can definitely do it here in Medellin. You're probably going to be living outside the main areas. Definitely not Poblado. Definitely not Laureles. Maybe Belen. Maybe even outside Belen. Maybe in some other areas. Probably not even in Sabaneta. Maybe Sabaneta if you live in a lower end one bedroom. So it is doable to pay around 1,000 to 1,500. But most likely, if you're watching this video, you're going to be somewhere in the 1,700 to 2,300 range to live a mid-range lifestyle. And if you want to live like a king, if you want to be in the best part of town, if you want to be in a nice one bedroom and the best part of town, nice apartment, you're probably going to need to spend closer to 3,500 to 4,500, in my opinion, to live like a king here. Where in other cities, you can live like this same lifestyle for about 2,500 or even $2,000 a month. So Medellin's going to be almost twice as much than other cities that you can get for the value, but that's what you can expect here in Medellin. So can you live comfortably in Medellin for under 1,500 a month? The answer is yes, but you're not going to be you're not going to have much fun. You're not going to have that much of an active social life. You're definitely not going to be in the best areas of the city, right? You're definitely not going to be in Poblado, probably not going to be in Laureles. And you can get by, but again, I think there's better value you can get for even 1,500 a month than a place like Medellin. So if you wanted to enjoy all the luxuries and if you wanted to live like a king here, it's going to be well over $2,500 a month, in my opinion. You could probably do it for around 3,500 or even more, right, to really get the king lifestyle.
So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you can expect to pay in Medellin. Again, someone who's more of a budget traveler, probably get by 1,500. Someone who wants to live average to above average lifestyle, 2,500. Someone who wants luxury, probably 3,500. And there's definitely better value you can get in other cities, but not a bad place to check out. Be sure to look out for my next video. I'm going to talk about my entire experience living there for 6 months. So I think that'll help you decide if this is really a place you want to visit or spend some more time in. Give this video a like if it was helpful, and look out for that next one.